welcome to the Cluttered Corner. I'm Chelsea, and today is Woman versus the Blank Page. This is one of my favorite blank pages to do. I don't know. This is mixed. Well, there's some old gouache paintings I did. It's not necessarily like high quality, and it's like, well, not for watercolor. I don't know, but I've made some really good paintings on this. I don't drink like that, and I found a use for my old boxes that sit in the hallway. All right. Okay. Who's gonna win? Is it me? Is it this page? I love this 9x12 because I don't know, it gives me a lot of space. I don't feel like when I'm working on smaller stuff that I need like more space, but like when I have something with more space, then I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I make better stuff. All right, here we go. Oh, don't be shaky. Come on. All right. I always start with the eyes. And then I just see what's going on. I guess I'll just put some shadow there. Oh, I like these eyes. This is a good set of eyes. Now, who is this? What kind of animal? It's always an animal. I feel like, I don't know. I'm gonna draw an alligator? Or crocodile? Dinosaur? Dragon? Dinosaurs and dragons dinosaurs are not to dragons as alligators are to crocodiles. They're very different. But it made it sound like that. Alright. What a beautiful snout. Beautiful snout. And let's see. Now, if I succeed against the blank page today, then I have to go succeed against the blank page that is the writing page. And that one's really hard. I guess which is partially why I'm doing this, but I don't know. Also, I just felt inspired. What kind of creature is this? Maybe it's a horse. I can't go from crocodile to horse, but maybe this is a dinosaur. Maybe it's one of these dinosaurs with the fins. I had a plastic blue dinosaur that I got at like a garage sale or something, probably for like 10 cents. That was like one of these. A Diplodocus, but I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But that's how I pronounce it, and I refuse to pronounce it any other way. So, this is a little bit wrong, I think, even for a dinosaur. But we'll see. See how we feel about it. Maybe it will turn out. I'm gonna put that there. Now, I might end up speeding through parts of this video if the painting part gets really long, but I'm not sure yet. There, I have to concentrate to do those. And it's gonna have a tail. Its tail's probably back there. This is a strange creature. But let's see. We'll put it at the shore. It's not in the water right now. It's on the land. I think it can go on land, right? I think. It's like, oh, okay. So I was talking about Little Mermaid the other day. Last month, at some point, I was talking about Little Mermaid. I listened to an audio, well, just somebody reading it, which is what I listened to recently-ish. But a different person reading it, but same story. And man, it's crazy. Like, so the fairy tale version. Let me just recap it again. That's what I do on this channel, is I draw and I recap the Little Mermaid every episode. So those are supposed to be waves, but I'm not sure if they are. I think this guy's running out of ink. Don't do that now. Now's not the time. Anyway, Little Mermaid. What happens in it is, so it's worse than I remembered. It's so frustrating. I mean, I guess in a good way, but like, oh. So the mermaids get to go up on shore. These are off. Okay. They get to go up on shore on like, so 15th birthday, 16th birthday. I don't know. I feel like it was 15. When they turn 15, they get to go up, not on shore, but they get to go up to the surface. They're big enough to go venture up there. And so her sisters all do that first. And like, there's a lot of details in it that are like, oh, I see where they got this for like the Disney version. Because like her best thing, is like she sings and she's good at singing, and that's like her thing. Though in that one, I think they're all good at singing, but they're like, oh, she's like the best one, I guess. I don't know. I mean, obviously they're all singing at like a professional level because they're putting on like a concert. Though they're also royalty, so I think everybody just has to go anyway. But that's not the point. I think they sound good. So anyway, she goes to the surface on her birthday, and there's like a storm, and like she sees a ship with, people on it, and there's like a prince, and he seems cool, and then like there's a storm and the ship goes down, and she realizes, he'll drown if he because it's like, okay, so like the mermaids live for 300 years. Humans don't, but the mermaids don't have an immortal soul, but humans do. So I guess they get 300 years and that's it. I don't really know how that works, but whatever. That's just what it said. So they get 300 years, humans don't, but they get to live on forever, I guess. So anyway, but also he can't breathe underwater, and she knows that. So she saves him and brings him to shore somewhere, and there's like a church, and there's like holy people who live there. And so she's like, well, they'll take care of him. They'll say, and I think they're already like coming out to get him like when she leaves. So she goes back home and she's like, oh my God, that was crazy. But she's also like in love with him now, and she can't stop thinking about him. So she goes to the sea witch and is like, hey, can I like go on land? And then the sea witch is like, yeah, I can do that, but it's gonna hurt. Every step will be excruciating, and it'll be like standing on knives or whatever, which sounds bad. I mean, that is bad. And then she can't come back, though. She can't ever come back to the sea. And she's like, oh, okay. She just can't not go. And it's like, if the prince falls in love with her and says he loves her more than his mom and dad or whatever, and marries her, which is like, what is that? I mean, I guess that's like, I don't know, that like, do we have to say that about marriage? Do we have to be like, I love you more than my mom and dad, and I promise to be with you forever? Like, I mean, I don't know. It's like, even if it's a different kind of love, and also like, what? Like, do we have to say that and like rub that in everyone's faces? I don't know. Anyway, so she is like, okay, like, okay, so he has to do that. He has to say, I love you more than my parents. And then also like take her hand or marry her or whatever. And then she'll get part of his soul and will be human for real or something, or we get to spend forever with him. I don't know if the legs will still hurt at that point. It's unclear. And she's like, okay, I can do that. I can make him fall in love with me. But then the sea witch is like, but you gotta do it without your voice, because I need payment, and that's like your most precious thing. And she's like, well, how am I supposed to do that? And she says, well, I don't remember. It's really similar. She doesn't say like body language like Ursula does, but she kind of does. Like, she's like, well, there's, there's always body language. There's other ways, like, so then these are supposed to be like footprints in the sand here, but it's just kind of a weird shadow. But whatever, I'm just gonna go with that. And so then Ariel, or not Ariel. That's not her name. Her name is just Little Mermaid. She doesn't have a name in that. Ariel's as good as any, though. So then, like, except, why is it the male spelling? But whatever. We're not going to get into that. So she agrees. And I want to put more stuff here. She, she does the thing, gives up her voice, and her tail splits into legs, and it hurts really bad. She goes up to the surface, and she does meet the prince. He finds her, and he's, like, super nice to her. But then, like, he sees, like, she's mute, you know, and he sees her as just, like, oh, his funny little friend. I think she sleeps at, like, the foot of his bed or whatever, and she's like, yes, I'm in. And I'm like, girl, you're the dog. Like, you can't be sleeping at the foot of his bed. Like, that's not what we want. So, like, she is his kind of, like, pet friend. I don't know. He clearly does not see her as a love interest. She is not, she's not even friend zoned. She'd, like, pet zoned, I guess. I don't know. I mean, this is a turtle, I think. It was going to be a crab. It didn't turn out looking like a crab. So now it's a turtle. But it's also not. But, you know what? This is a weird creature. This is a weird creature. And they're friends. They're good friends. They're in this journey together. This one is a bit more optimistic, a bit more like, what's out there in the world? Maybe things are good. And this guy's like, no, I don't think so. Things are bad. Things are bad everywhere. We gotta be careful. Don't trust anybody. But this one's like, maybe things are good. Maybe we're gonna find something good out there. Anyway, back to Little Mermaid. So, she meets the prince. And also, okay, so, like, his parents want him to get married because they're like, it's about time. And he's like, I can't get married because I'm in love. He fell in love with a girl who supposedly rescued him, and she's one of the holy women. So he's just in love with whoever rescued him. He doesn't recognize that it's her, or I don't know. I'm unclear on whether or not he actually, like, knows this girl, or, like, because theoretically he spent more time with the girl that healed him after whatever. But it's pretty much implied that it's like, it's the Little Mermaid that he's in love with, but he doesn't realize it's her, because he's like, well, that girl could talk, though. And he also just assumes that the girl that helped him from the beach or whatever is the one who saved him in the water in the first place. Or maybe he doesn't know anyone saved him from the water. Maybe he thinks he washed up on shore. I don't remember. So that happens, and he's like, I love her, but she's a holy woman, and she can't, she's not going to love anybody. So I'm just never going to get married. And Little Mermaid's like, that works for me, I guess. Like, she's going to work on it. This is a shell, but it's looking a bit like a creature, but it's a shell. And we're going to leave it as a shell. Beaches always have, like, lumps of crud, like, plant matter that's washed up on shore. It's pretty gross. Anyway, so she is like, cool, he's not gonna, like, fall for anybody else. He's in love with this other lady, and maybe time will tell. Maybe he'll fall in love with me. I don't know if she thinks that far ahead, but I don't know. That's my thoughts at that part of it. And then... but his parents are like, no, you're getting married. And they hook him up with some girl. But guess what? She's the girl that saved him, because she wasn't actually a holy woman. She was just there on, like, I don't know, some kind of study abroad thing or something. Not study abroad, but she was just studying with them for a while. She's not one of them. She was just there for a while. So guess what? She's free to get married, and everything's great for him. The Little Mermaid is sad because she's the one that he loves, but he doesn't know. And then her sisters give up all their hair and to the sea witch. This is, okay, just real quick, this is my karatake, my sack of karatakes. I have a bunch of those, and this is a 3D printed holder for them that I got at Studio of MM, I think. I'll put a link. It's really handy. I love it. Anyway, so the sisters come, and they have a knife. They gave up their hair to the sea witch, I guess all of them had the same good feature, was their hair. And they have this knife, and if she kills the prince with the knife, then she can come join them. Oh, because the problem is, if he doesn't love her and if he marries somebody else, she dies and becomes sea foam, which is just what happens to mermaids when they die, I guess. So, Blue. Let's start with Blue. She has to kill him with this knife. And if she does, then she can go home and forget this ever happened. But she'll have to kill him, and she loves him. So she can't do it. She's not going to do that. So she doesn't do that, and she's just like, well, I guess I'll just die. And he lives and marries this other girl, and as far as I know, they are actually happy together. It doesn't really go into it, but presumably. And then, anyway, so, but then these air spirits, like, take pity on her, because they're like, oh, you could have killed him, but you didn't. And they were like, well, you can become one of us, and you can become an air spirit. And then, they have some kind of quota of, like, finding children who are happy or something? I don't know. I'm messing this part up, I'm sure. But, like, something like that. And then, but if they find a bad one, then, like, I don't know, it adds to their sentence? I don't really understand. But basically, she doesn't get the guy that she wanted. But she does get a job and a career? I don't know. Like a weird afterlife job that changes things and makes it so, I don't know, she's not just dead, which is good. So that's that story, and those are all the parts of it I couldn't remember last time I was talking about it. So what do we think about that? Like, I mean, I do appreciate that the ending has, like, a twist. But also, like, oh my god, how frustrating to be like, he's in love with her, but he thinks it's not her. But then also, it turns out that the lady he thought he couldn't be with, he can. But nobody ever says anything about it as far as, like, oh, like, was he happy with this other lady? I think he was. So maybe it was her he was in love with after all. I'm not really clear on it because I think, I don't know. But the Little Mermaid never sees her family again. So I'm not really sure what to take from that. But the one, I mean, of course I like the Disney ending better. But I don't know. This one is an interesting one for sure. Oh yeah, and there's one part where it's like, oh, she dances and stuff, and he thinks it's funny and he likes it. So she keeps doing it, but, like, it hurts her really bad, but he doesn't know. I don't think he would want her to be hurting herself. He seems like a nice guy. He's just kind of dumb. You know. But also, he does the best that he can with the information he has. Which is that she couldn't possibly be that good. But also it's like, come on, just go by her personality. Do you like her or not? And I guess he didn't. I guess he liked this other girl better. And I don't know. So anyway, I don't have a lot of space here. The cluttered corner, obviously. So I'm making do. But that is also why I have this Kuretake pan thing like this stack. Because otherwise you get them in, like, a big box and they're flat. And it's a nice box. But it takes up a lot of space. Because these are big. These are big things. I have a swatch for these, and the swatch, I think, is in the bottom. I think I put it there. I don't know. I've swatched these a bunch of times, but I'm not looking at it. What's the point of swatching if you're not going to look? Well, okay, the point is it's fun, but also you should look. But also I'm not, because I don't really have a lot of space. All right. Now, what else? That was The Little Mermaid. I don't know any other stories. That's not true. Of course I know stories. We all know stories. I'm trying to think. I feel like I had things to say, and I don't remember. Oh, okay, here's the thing. I've been on a journey with, it's a very short journey that doesn't involve leaving my desk, but like, well, no, it's a long journey. It just doesn't involve going anywhere. So, I have been trying to find, like, different writing software. I've been using Scrivener for a long time, and it's okay. It's, okay, back in the day, back in, like, the late aughts, I think, and maybe, like, 2010 or whatever, like, people were super into Scrivener. And I had not used it at that point. I had just used, like, Word. Just a document full of crap. And that was fine. I think I would have several documents. One that's like my writing, one that's like just rambling nonsense and stuff about it, and maybe one that's like scenes or whatever, just like my plans and stuff. I write novels. I write other stuff now, but at the time I only wrote novels, and that's what I did. And so then that was fine for me. And then people were like, oh, but Scrivener, like, you have, like, okay, so if you're not familiar, it's got basically like files within a file, So you have a file, and then off to the side, you've got, like, you can have, I don't know if they're notes or whatever. So you can separate things by scenes or chapters or whatever. And at the time, everybody was just like, oh, now I can rearrange my scenes, and it's so easy. And I'm like, what? Why are you rearranging scenes all the time? I still wonder that. I mean, if you do, that's fine. I just don't understand it. But, like, when I need to rearrange something, I just copy and paste it and put it in the spot that it goes. But I guess it is easier to just, So that was a thing, and I thought, well, I don't really need that feature. I don't know. That's all anybody ever talked about it. I did eventually try it a few years after that, and I did like it, and it was useful. Now, I don't really like switch order of things enough for that to be like the selling point, but it's got a lot, and I could not go back to something that didn't have all the files in one file now. Like, I don't know. Some people are like, just use a Word document. No, can't do it. And I mean, I say Word document. I don't have Word. I have, what is it? It used to be OpenOffice. Now it's like LibreOffice. I have that. It's free. It works well. And it's great. So, anyway, I have that. And so, I don't know. I get frustrated with Scrivener. It doesn't have everything, and sometimes you just want something different, and there's no mobile version, there's no browser version. On the app side, it is a one-time payment. I think I paid $40 for it. I think it's like $50 now or something. I'm trying to think what color to do for sand. We're gonna do that. Oh, got some gold. And here's some other ones. I got an extra pan because I was like, what if I get more? Because this came from Canada, and I didn't want to have to, like, pay shipping again at some point for just, like, one more. Oh, here's my swatch. This is what it came with. It came with this for swatching, which is a convenient little thing. They think of everything. Love Kartake. Anyway, so, also, okay, Scrivener, even though they update it, it's biased towards people who use Macs because that's where it started, and then Windows is kind of an afterthought. And you'll see versions of it that look so pretty and nice, and then I'm like, how can I make mine look like that? How can I do that? And it turns out you can't, because that's only what Macs look like. So that kind of, I don't know, it gets old. And where's my brush? There it is. So, also, it's just kind of boring to be like, well, you found it. This is the only program you'll ever use until you die. Like, I don't know. There's something just kind of not fun about that. For obvious reasons. I don't know. I'm human. I like change. Well, no, I don't like change. But also, I do like change. Aren't we weird? Because, like, you don't really want something to be like, yeah, this is it forever. You want new things, and you want to, like, experience new things. And I'll try mixing in some of these colors. I don't know. There's issues with it. I can't remember what. Oh, yeah, because I wanted to be able to not just always have to be in the same spot at my desk. And that means trying to have like, well, like I said, there's not really a mobile version. There is for Mac though, or for iOS. So, because of course there is. Is this a sand color? Let's test. Oh, that is a good sand color. I did a good job. Adding a bit more water to it to stretch it out, because I really like it. That's not necessarily the right thing to do, because then it's going to be a thinner color, but whatever. It's what I do. So, anyway, I wanted to switch something else, but I don't like a lot of the writing programs. They just, a lot of specialized programs, like, depending on what thing you're doing, but I find it to be true for a lot of things, are ugly. Like, if you've ever tried to find, like, a cross-stitch program, if you do cross-stitch, like, they all look like they were made in, like, 1993, and maybe updated once in, like, 1995, and then never touched again, and it's like, why? Even ones that were made, like, so much more recently still kind of have that vibe, and I just can't. And I find it's not quite that bad with writing stuff, but a lot of times, I don't know, I don't know. And a lot of them just don't work that well, and, like, okay, so, here's the thing. Now, okay, to spoil it, this problem is now solved. My friend told me about Obsidian, and that he'd been using that. Now, I knew Obsidian existed, but I hadn't used it. I've seen it mostly come up, like, you know, like programs like Notion and whatever, like if I'm looking for organizing stuff. I wouldn't have thought to look at things like that for writing. I did see stuff on YouTube come up about that, like people using it for writing novels, but I just kind of was like, I don't know if that is what I'm looking for. I didn't actually look into it, you know, because I felt, I guess, intimidated by it, where it's just like, I've opened programs like that and been like, I don't know. They're so intimidating sometimes, like, you just open them up and there's just nothing, and you're like, okay. So, anyway, but my friend's son said he'd been using that, and basically, because he wasn't using Scrivener, but he also just wanted, like, a mobile thing to be like, I can use this on any device, and it just works. You do have to pay to, like, sync them if you're gonna do that, but it's like $5 a month. It's not bad. And I'm not someone who loves a subscription, but the program itself works really well and is free, and it's free on all devices. But if you want to sync them with, like, a remote thing, then it's $5 a month. And I think that's pretty fair. So that now, if he hadn't said this is, you know, something that worked for me, I don't know if I would have, like, tried it, or if I would have, like, given it a real shot. I might have opened it once and been like, But I watched a video where somebody else, like, was using it for novel writing, and they had, like, a template they'd made that you could use, and that was really helpful. I will try and find that video and link it, just in case anybody cares. I don't know if anybody watching this cares, but I don't know what you guys are into, but surely some of you are writers or just organizers. So that, can I set this here? That is what I've been using, and I really like it. I like it in a lot of ways better than Scrivener. I would still use Scrivener for exporting to make ebooks and stuff, partially just because I know how to do it, but also because, I don't know, there's just more, I feel like there's more I can do, but maybe that's not true. I don't know. Overall, though, like, Obsidian runs so much better, so much more smoothly. You can have larger files. You don't have to, because the thing about Scrivener, and a lot of programs, really, you can't have files that are large. Like, the whole file, I guess, could be large, but inside, like, you can't have something that has a lot of words, which seems stupid for something that is about having a lot of words. Now, with stuff like Word, I don't think I ever ran into that problem, because it could just handle it. And so I know at first when I started using stuff like this, I was just like, really? You have to put it into chapters. That annoyed me. I'm fine with it now, but also maybe I'm not, because I went back, when I started Obsidian, I immediately went back to just having one file that is the book. And you can outline it so that you have headings for the chapters, so that you can have like a hyperlinked outline off to the side where you can just be like, go to chapter 1. But it's so much easier to just like search through and stuff if it's like that, I think. I believe you can do markdown stuff in Scrivener, but I didn't really know that or know anything about it at the time. And also, there's just so many things that it doesn't do as well. Like, I didn't need to use it in that, I guess, is also a thing. Because what would I use it for? I don't know. I couldn't have used it to mark the chapters because there's no point, because the chapters all basically have to be a different file. I don't know. Some people make all their scenes a different file. I don't do that. I didn't go that far. But I don't know. At the end of the day, my brain is basically just really comfortable with a jumbled mess, and I don't like things to be too organized, because a lot of it is, I don't know, just in my brain. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how that works or what the deal is, but that is kind of a thing. I don't know. I don't need the things to be all separated out. Other things I looked at Campfire, which I did really like, but also, I don't know. It's a lot more than I need, and I know with that one it's kind of a la carte, where you can be like, I only use this feature, so I'm only paying for that. And you can buy them outright. It's pretty expensive to buy all of them though, if you need them all. I don't need them all. But the overall thing is just like, I don't know. It's not really, yeah, I liked it, and I could see getting into it, especially if you have, a more involved like world and things that you want to keep track of stuff. But I don't know. I think to get everything is like $400, which is a lot. I don't know how I want the sky to be. What color is this? Not washed out enough, and it's too similar to the sea. But I guess the sky is sea colored. It's just more washed out. So maybe we'll put a little bit of this washed out blue on here, just to put something down. Maybe I'll add some white. And I don't know if you can see this. This one's kind of like come apart from its thing. But that's okay. So anyway, I've started using Obsidian. Things just work. It's so nice. And wait, did I want that? I'll put a little blue in there. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, back to the blue. We don't need that. I think, oh, here's my lighter blue. Duh. Okay, put the sky blue in here. And this is dirty, and it's getting different colors on here. But, whatever. I'm just gonna do it. So, anyway, I've been using Obsidian. I can use it on my tablet. I can use it on my computer, and it all syncs up. I can use it on my e-ink tablet. I have BooksTab Ultra. Mixed feelings about the Ultra. I love it, but also, and I mean, it is an e-ink tablet, which is what I wanted at the time. Don't use it as much as I thought I would. I definitely use my Samsung tablet more. But the e-ink one is pretty cool. And it does, I can do Obsidian on there. I can write on it with, I've got a Bluetooth keyboard. You can write by hand on that, but I don't know if you can do that in Obsidian. I don't really want to write by hand most of the time. And if I was going to do that, I have other things for that. I'll just write sometimes I do. I have written by hand in that, and I'll just write like in a PDF. And that works that works well and is fun. But I find that with the books, it doesn't always like sync quickly to the thing. Like I'll open it up and it doesn't know the changes I've made like right away, and I'm not sure how to like make it do that. But it does work. It does work pretty well. So that's an option. I was looking at like those free writes, if you've seen those. Those are insane. Price-wise, those are insane. And people have like way too much trouble with them. And then losing their work, you know. And it's like the whole point is to have something to write on that is not going to lose your work. So, anyway, yeah, those are out of my price range anyway. But maybe that's what got me down this rabbit hole. I can't remember. I think it did, because then I was like, man, I used to have a Mobile Pro. I still have it. I don't use it because it's way outdated, and it's got to the point where it was like hard to even get data off of it. Like, not because it doesn't work. It works fine. It works beautifully. But just technology changes, and, you know, at some point I was like, I don't even have like the right card readers, and also having to have like a card reader thing. Like, I don't know. It just, sometimes it's too much. But I'm gonna switch here. Let's try some pink. No, that's not pink. Pink for some shells. Anyway, I used to use that, and that was wonderful. I wrote the Rise of Renegade X on that. I don't remember if I wrote the sequel on that. I probably did. I think I did. I wrote a lot of like failed sequels on that. And then after that, at some point I stopped using it, but then I missed having like, you know, a distraction-free like mobile device that you can just write wherever. So then I got, I think it's an HP Mini. It's a pink netbook that I specifically got to not have internet on, and I had strict rules about it. Don't turn the Wi-Fi on it. Well, sometimes I would if I was out and about, which I didn't do like a lot, and I wasn't usually writing, but no Wi-Fi on it, no games, deleted everything that could be fun except for writing programs. And that worked really well too, and that was really fun. I really enjoyed having that. And that one still works, kind of. I don't know, it has some battery issues at this point, but that might be my fault. But also, it just is slow. It feels very slow. And I don't know, it's just not fun to use anymore. And it seems like fun shouldn't be a factor in things that are like, this is for work. But especially if your work is creative, well, okay, even if your work is not creative, I think fun is important. But especially if your work is creative, you need to have fun, because creativity is hard. And if it's not fun, then, I don't know, you're making it harder for yourself, and it doesn't need to be any harder than it already is. But also, I mean, it's okay to have fun in life, and especially, like, with work things. But I have all these mobile devices, and I feel like, I'm like, I need like a laptop. I don't know that I want that. And I not lucked out, because I did research it, but I never actually like was able to like touch one, you know, of these HPs that I got. But, you know, the keyboard on it was very nice. For, you know, something like that. And that worked out. But I'm real, you know, I think most people really care about what their keyboard feels like. They might have different things that they're looking for, but I think everybody cares, like, what it is. And so that's definitely always a concern. And nowadays it's like, well, I would just use like a Bluetooth keyboard. And I showed this in one of my videos. I've got this Iris Rev 6 here. This is just half of it. And I love this. I use this at my desktop. It is wired though, and I'm like, it's not really convenient to move it to go like right portably, like on the bed or something. And I say portably, I'm talking about going like, 5 feet away or something. But sometimes you just can't be at your desk. Like, So that, I want something like that, but wireless, completely wireless, and Bluetooth, not just wireless, it's got to be Bluetooth. I don't want to have to put in a dongle. I know it's theoretically not a big deal, but my wife just whispered that's what she said. I'm probably going to cut it out, but I'm going to mention it. Anyway, that I just want it to be Bluetooth. And I've been looking at like the Lotus 58 really appeals to me. If you don't know keyboard stuff, like you're probably just like, boring. I don't know what this is. So I won't stay on it, but I don't know. I'm also not sure if I can handle having a split keyboard like in a portable location, but also I kind of need a split keyboard because I have like this abdominal problem on my right side. My stomach is very sore. Nobody knows why. And I mean, it's I'm working on it. I'm healing it, but it's taking a long time, of course, and it's gotten a lot better. But the fact that I'm even able to make this video is a testament to that. Now, I feel like this should be blue, but everything else is blue. I don't want it to be blue, but what color? What color? Let's look at our swatch. Maybe green? Like this color? Malachite? Maybe. Yeah. Well, wait, what about this? What about lime green? Lime green? We'll see. Let me get to that. Wait, this is lime green. We're already there. Okay. Let's try it out. So, what was I talking about? Don't remember. Basically, I have to have a split keyboard because otherwise my right arm, like, touches my side too much and that causes horrible pain. And then that makes it hard to write because pain, it turns out, makes it really hard to write. And then, because it's harder to write, then my arm is there longer because I refuse to, like, leave and stop writing. Even though I should. Well, I guess nowadays I do. I just give up. But, like, at the time, well, not at the time. I don't know. But it just makes it excruciating. And there were times when, like, okay, so I have a picture book coming out. A picture book is like, it's called When You Go to Dragon School. It's super cute. When you go to Dragon School. When I was writing that, and I think it's about like 500 words, it took me 2 days to write it. And if you're a writer, 500 words is not that much. But even that was like, it was excruciating. Like, I did it in like 2 sessions. Now, I mean, that's fine. I don't know that has, but I don't know if that has to do with that or not, but I do know that it was like very painful and difficult, and that should not be. Writing, I guess maybe is difficult, like, mentally, but it shouldn't be just difficult physically. And I think I wrote that one on my split keyboard, but that was still just like, before I even had the split keyboard, it was just so bad. I think that was post-split keyboard. Maybe not. But I think it was. And before that, it was like, I don't know if I even could have done that. Now, it's not so bad. I can type on the split keyboard and not have it cause, like, horrible pain. And, well, okay, so, like, a regular keyboard is worse because you have your hands, like, here. And that, and you might, if you try it, you might be like, is that really even putting pressure on the right side? No, but it is, because it doesn't take, like, hardly anything for it to be just bad. So, it's gotten a lot better. I'm working on it, like I said. But, I still need a split keyboard. And also, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to not having a split keyboard. It's just, I like it better. I'm one of those people now. But I don't know if it really works on the bed, you know, like, and I think having the wire kind of makes it inconvenient, but that's not really the issue. Well, it is a little bit. I don't know. I want a wireless split keyboard. I want it to magically work out, but I don't know if I actually need one or not. I don't know if I actually want, I do want to be on the bed. I don't know. I want the option, you know? I want to be able to work wherever I want to work. And yeah. So anyway, I've been trying to write recently. It has not been going super well. Like, it'll be like, one day it'll kind of work, and then the next day it kind of doesn't, and then, I don't know. I don't know. I got a lot of baggage built up with writing that I wish I didn't. But I do. And, I can try and work through it, but I can't just magically take it back. So I find, even when I know what's supposed to happen in the story, I just sit there and I feel blank. And then I think, well, and, you know, a lot of this has to do with health problems over the years and trying to, which is mainly this stomach problem, and just having, like, physical pain and trying to work through it. And by work through it, I mean just, like, force it. And it works for a while, but then it doesn't. And then there's also, like, I don't know, mental and emotional repercussions where then my brain is like, nope, I don't want to do that. And it's like, but you do? You just want it to be fun and not painful? I'll put a little bit more green. Do I have other greens? If I lift this, are there more greens? There are. Of course there are. This many colors, you think there's only 2 greens? Of course there's not. Of course there's more. I'm gonna go with this one. Try and make this less, well, I don't know what. I don't know if it needs to be less, whatever, but I want it to have more of a color variation. So anyway, I have been on that writing journey. I guess just because, you know, it's November, it's writing time, whether you want it to be or not. I do want it to be writing time. And I guess this has just been pushing me to, like, make that effort and try and, like, get back into it. And I am in the middle of a project that I have been in the middle of for over a year. And I don't know, it's like, it's really hard to explain because I don't think I would have understood these problems, like, before I had them. And if you haven't had them, I think it's really hard to understand, like, just, I don't know, the connection between pain and, I don't know. I mean, I guess just your body being like, this causes pain. This hurts. This is ruining your life. Stop doing it. And there's not actually, like, there doesn't need to be that connection, but since it kind of exists, you know, it's tough. And then my brain wants to, like, shut it all down and just be like, you can't think of anything. I don't know. And then it's also really hard not to just think of, like, when I'm writing, like, everything anybody's ever said about my work, or, like, you know, whether that's good or bad. And I don't know, I just really get in my head and it sucks. And I gotta get through that. Now, the other day I did get through that. I was playing with pseudo-write, which is, like, an AI thing that you can give it, like, what you're working on, and then it, like, writes the next part. I didn't use anything that it wrote, you know, like, it wasn't usable. It was surprising. Like, I only gave it a scene. It was really surprising how much it did understand, or seemingly understand, of, like, what was happening in the scene. And it said some really funny things that were not true. But I also feel like it really freed me up to be like, I don't know, to just feel like I had permission to do whatever and to stop thinking about the things that maybe are no's and just tell myself yes, because I'm like, well, the AI said yes to what it wanted to do, and then I just, you know, and it was basing it off of what I wrote. so then like I said, I didn't actually use like the things that it had said, but I don't know, it just made it so fun. Like it was like writing with somebody, like we were doing a project or something. I don't know. I don't know if I would like keep using that particular program, but I think it is fun to have, I don't know, to have something like that, and I know AI is like a really controversial topic, and I don't want it like stealing all our work or anything, but I think that we can like, I don't think it's bad to find ways to work with it, and I don't think it's going away either. And in the past, like things like that, where technology makes like some jump, and it's clearly something that people are interested in, it's not going to just go away, and it's not going to, so it's like, well, you have to learn a way to work with it, because things that are like, and I mean, I'm not saying you have to use it. I'm just saying that, like, I don't think it's like bad to find ways to use it. And then also people are like, oh no, they're going to take all our jobs, maybe. But you know what? If they take all the jobs, we won't need to have jobs. Which, the problem is just the transition in between having jobs and no one needing jobs, and that's tough. I don't know that I actually think that that's what's going to happen. And obviously, if my job is doing creative stuff, I don't want a robot, like, well, not a robot, I don't know. I don't want to lose that job. It's not like about like, oh, I want some robot taking over. Like, I don't know. Let's not be racist against robots, even though, like, I don't know. We're like, well, they're not real. It's like, well, they might be someday, but that's not really the issue. The issue is yourself feeling that negativity towards something. Like, we don't need to like group something together and be like, we hate that thing. I don't know. But obviously I want to keep being able to do the things that I do. But I guess it's also nice to not need to. But also, as humans, we kind of feel like, I don't know, I'm a bit like a border collie, where I need a task, I need a job, I need something to do. Doesn't matter if it's useful or not, I need to feel like it's useful. And so, I don't know. I might have a tough time if everything was like, well, I guess there's some things like that anyway, but like just being like, well, you can do this for fun, and people might even like your stuff, but you don't need to do it. That might be tough, because I feel like, well, but then again, maybe people need you to do it, because they need your specific stuff, your characters, your voice, your company. And that's enough. So, I don't know. Problem solved. There we go. I've solved it. But anyway, my point is just having something be like, I don't know, just to give me permission to do whatever. And these problems probably, I don't know if this resonates with anybody. I don't know if everyone has the exact same problems that I do of just, well, probably a lot of people do. Because it's not necessarily like writer's block, but it is like this sort of like weird stage fright. Which I don't really get stage fright in real life, but like when it comes to writing, I've kind of developed it, and I don't recommend it. I hate it. And it's dumb because it's like nobody's even seeing it. But I'm seeing it, and I'm knowing if it's good or not. Except I'm not, because I'm just assuming it's bad. And if you just assume that everything you do is bad, then you'll just feel bad. But see, that's the problem though. I hope this is making sense. When I was like pushing through the pain and working on stuff anyway, then I would it doesn't matter what the words were, because I come off of it feeling bad. Because physically I feel bad, and especially because it's like, in my stomach and whatever, I don't know, like your brain has trouble not associating that with like emotions, I feel like, where it's just like, oh, this is how you feel when when something has gone wrong. And so then I would just feel like everything I wrote must be bad because I feel bad. instead of like feeling good, you know. And so then I just kind of developed this weird craziness of feeling like it's all bad, and then I don't want to do it. And it's not bad. And then also I just feel like, I don't know, like then I have trouble giving myself permission to do stuff. And I can be like, well, just write what you want to write, but I can't feel what I want to write even, because I feel like my brain just blocks it. And I don't know. And the AI writing something and being like, oh, this scene could go like this, just kind of, I don't know, took that away. And also, like, seeing it kind of reflected back at me, I was like, oh, this is an interesting scene. This is fun. So that helped a lot. And I haven't used that since. But, well, that was only a couple days ago. I did manage to write, like, keep that feeling and write, like, the next day. I think this is done. Now, what's the story here? And did I beat the blank page? I forgot I was fighting it. I'll put this away so I don't lose it or get it wet. Now, the problem is, I got this extra one in case I got more. And I mean, I do have space here. I have space. Hold on. I have space here for another set of 6. There's more sets you can get, you know. And then here would be another set for like 2 more of those. But now I'm used to keeping things in it. I need this for storage. So now I still need another one. But also, how tall do I want this stack to get? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And yeah, where's my lid? This beautiful lid with this paint pour that Michaela made for me. I said I want, well, yeah, this was the one that was made. I was like, I don't know. I got a custom one. And it's so beautiful. That goes on there. And now I just have this nice, beautiful stack. All right. Now we put that away. This is this picture. Now, this guy is clearly from the sea. I think it's a girl. She's from the sea. But she's looking out longingly at it. Maybe they've just left the sea. And they're thinking like, should our journey, you know, are we making the right choice? Are we leaving something behind that we'll never be able to get back? Because this journey will change us. And even if we come back, we won't be the same people we were before. That's something to think about. But obviously they're not going to go back, or it wouldn't be a story. They're going to go forward. They're leaving the sea. We'll assume that this creature can, like, be out of the sea. She seems fine. This guy is a turtle. He can be out of the sea. I don't know if he can even go deep into the sea. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter, though. Clearly, they have a bond. They know each other pretty well. He's looking at us, being like, I kind of like how these came out with these shadows here, but also it kind of looks weird. But if I just look at it in the camera, it looks pretty good. So, anyway, this was my attempt at fighting the blank page. And you know what? I think I won. Who is the winner here? This page isn't blank, so I have to assume it's me. Alright. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe. I'll be doing more stuff like this, of course. And, yeah. So that's it for today, and I will see you next time on The Cluttered Corner.